How was everybody's weekend?
Really?
Ooh. We are now legal.
Recording,
Oh.
so I can't make dirty jokes anymore. All right.
Oh, I
then.
mean, you can. We're totally, and
You
I
can,
support
it's
you.
just us.
I support
It's
you,
just
Lonnie.
us is recording, and the rest of the people there. Yeah. they'll
So
hear us.
Lonnie, I'll let
Yes.
you host, of course, since you invited our amazing guest speaker. Super exciting. I will recommend everybody get some questions, that you may want to ask. I do believe that our guest speaker tonight is a guru to YouTube. So, mute everybody here.
It's the usual, because I don't really have a lot of because I always just ask him or ask the person to introduce themselves really quick, because we just heard his 6A story anyway.
Exactly.
So really we should all be plugged in, and we should know who this person is, because he was just in the last mastermind, right? So there shouldn't really be any need for him to introduce himself in really detail, because he said it all. So, and then this will be open to everybody, because we want everybody to just ask their questions. He will have slides, okay? So
Awesome.
he will share his screen, and then he's already spoken to, well, he will have to he's already seen my data on my Google, and not Google, yeah, on my Google ads, and he's going to use some data to explain everything, to explain some of those, yes, he will. So it's really a screen sharing, and then you can apply it on your own
Awesome.
stuff, on your
Exciting.
own ads.
That's why these Zooms
You
are so
can ask
valuable, guys,
questions.
because we've got a smaller group here. We're working very hard to make sure we include as many people from the dream team as possible, whoever wants to come, and just to be sure that we're all succeeding and staying motivated and staying moving, because whether it's slow and steady or super fast, the struggles are always real, even on a fast journey. Trust me, it can get tough. So just to allow your journey to be whatever it is, and just love it, right? And make sure you're coming to these things so that we can enjoy each other, and that experience in itself of getting to know people all over the world and hang out and share our stories and share our tips and tricks. You will get there. It's great if you keep going. So definitely, I'm happy to see all the new faces. Nice to meet everybody, and super happy that you're all joining us. Hopefully every Sunday you're available. You're welcome to come. Okay. Does anybody have any, anything they want to chat about? Anything exciting? Any struggles? Anything you want to talk about while we're waiting here? So I'm going to be speaking at the Alberta Mastermind this weekend. I missed last time, so I'm super excited to be going this coming weekend. They're doing another meetup. The ones in Alberta get pretty big. So I'm super excited, and I'm actually studying a motivational speech. That is one of my absolute favorites that I drill into my head over and over and over again. And I'm actually going to get deeply out of my comfort zone and recite it to everybody there, because that's my dedication to myself, is to soak that stuff into my brain at all times, and make myself so powerful that I will never quit no matter what. And so I'm gonna really, really show that dedication, right? I think that's gonna be terrifying and fun all at once.
Taryn.
Yeah.
I can call. Well, he's waiting for us, so I said to him 5 minutes tops. Then we will ask you to come in. I said we will just allow for people to. So you, Tara, I everybody should have seen the because there was a lot of excitement from many minds about this.
Let me. I'll do a reminder.
Yeah, just
weird, isn't it?
I'm gonna throw another reminder out too.
Yeah, let me have a look.
And I'm gonna, I don't want to keep him any longer, so I'm just going
Yep,
to.
that's totally fine.
Oh yeah, let him in. We can talk to him.
Yes, yes, okay.
Awesome. I'm excited for this. I love his energy.
Yeah, me too.
It was a great Zoom. Or mastermind,
He's a
sorry.
great speaker. Like I really enjoyed his talk.
And he said that not sharing any slides about his 6A story is intentional, because half the time a lot of people are looking at the slides and not really listening to what the person is saying. So he made
Smart.
it that way that people can really listen to what he had to say, and it was all very inspiring, isn't it?
It really
Yeah.
was. It was amazing. And it's right. It's true. I was paying a lot of attention because he was paying attention to like presenting, right? So that's awesome. Okay, he's in the waiting room, guys. So I'm going to let him in. All right, he's on his way.
I wonder if he's gonna have. Oh yeah, he will.
There he is.
You got to
There
see
I
him.
am. Hi, guys.
Hey, Matt. Happy to have ya.
Hey Matt, how are you?
Good, good. Do you like my background?
Yeah, I love your background.
guys are
I love the
tweening.
background.
He must have bought it at the same place.
Must have, right? Like who would have thought?
Amazing. I love it. We're twinning.
Winning, yeah.
More people are coming in, but we don't want to take a lot of your time, Coach Matt. So we wanted to just kick this off. This is on replay. It's recording. This is this is a mix of Canada and Australia and maybe Philippines. So people from the Philippines are coming into. But this group is between the Many Minds and also originally this is really the Team Thrive group. But yeah, you probably won't. Yeah, that's not interesting. Anyway, no need for history there. But what's important is that we wanted to welcome you here. We are buzzing with excitement. Who's excited? Woo! Yeah. Okay, so guys, we don't need any we don't need to know his story. If you are plugged in, like I said before, we know his story from the last mastermind. Okay, see his our most recent 6A story. So just check that out. But we wanted to dive into really what he's going to talk about today is YouTube. But I will give the floor to Matt, and let's not waste any time. We're excited, Matt. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
floor
Awesome. Well,
is
thanks so much
yours.
for having me. We got people from all over the place, which is great. So what I'll get you guys to do is just as long as you guys stay muted, and I'll get Leo to come on at one point and Lanny as well. We've got a couple of kind of some coaching things that we'll do together. But what I'll do, I'll start out, I'll share my screen. Let me just see. Do I have share capabilities here? Whoever's the host, if you can give me access to share, what I'll do is I will share a presentation that I did. Let me go back.
Karen Hausman is our coach.
Okay.
Our host, I mean host.
Taryn, the host, is going to let me share my screen.
Try now. It should work.
Okay, I will. Yep, there it is.
Perfect.
Okay, give me one sec. Let me know when you see the YouTube deep dive slide.
We see it.
Awesome. Okay, super. Okay, so I'm going to go straight into this. As Lenny said, you know, there's you can watch the mastermind with regards to, you know, what my story was for my 6A story. But I'm based here in Canada, and I've done a lot of work on the Flock chat for YouTube, together with a number of individuals there. So it's just been phenomenal as far as that goes. So for all of you, are you all advertising on YouTube, or are some of you still Facebookers? What, just sort of by show of hands, what do we got going on here? Is 50-50? Cool. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so I just want to give a comparison with regards to, can everybody see my screen? It says Facebook versus YouTube. We're good? All right. Facebook. So when I advertise on Facebook, and I've been shut down by Facebook, so I've been there, done that, been on Google, been on YouTube. Facebook is more emotion-based advertising. So for some people, they love Facebook because they're really tugging on that attraction marketing perspective for people. YouTube is a very analytical based advertising. It's a very black and white. So what I'm going to talk about tonight, and if you've been, are all of you on the Flock chat for YouTube advertising, or how many of you, maybe by show of hands, the ones who are not, let's go with those nots. Okay. If you're advertising on YouTube, make sure you're in the Flock chat. If you're advertising on Facebook, make sure that you're in the Flock chat. There's so many pearls and nuggets that are put out there for whichever platform you're on. If you're doing LinkedIn, if you're doing Pinterest, just get on that Flock chat because there's all sorts of content with regards to that. So YouTube is very black and white. It's very analytical. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about the numbers around it. And that's why it resonates for me, because I'm a numbers guy. My decisions are very black and white. I'm not putting emotions into it. If it's this, I do this. If it's that, I do this. And all of those perspectives come into it. So that's kind of your difference between the two. When you've got a YouTube ad, obviously you want to have a really good quality video. You want to have a solid script in there. You want to have a really good call to action at the end, right? Click here to do this. Go into my website and do this. And you want at the very end to have a freeze screen that runs for about 20 seconds. It says, point down here, click here to register, so that they know what's going on, because we're using in-stream ads. So when the video shows up and it's embedded inside of another video, once we blip off the screen, we're gone. So by buying yourself that extra 20 seconds pointing down saying, hey, click here, that at least gives you something, because once you're gone, you're gone. They're not going to come back to you. So you want to make sure as much as possible that you get the stickability factor. So in your video, at the very end, you put that 20 seconds on.
I'm on the Zoom, Brian.
What's that? Oh, that was somebody else. Okay, cool. You can use Canva to add those 20 seconds. You can add, you can use InShot. There's lots of platforms that allow you to do that kind of video editing. I won't get into that so much today, but just make sure that you have that freeze screen at the end. Then the next slide is make sure if you're doing YouTube advertising that you're using the 8,336 children website exclusion list. Now, don't get too hung up on the number, but there are different lists that are in the Flock chat. There was one that had about 1,500 exclusion lists, but the most up-to-date one has 8,000. You want to constantly be updating it, because otherwise your ads will be showing on children's channels. So for some of you who may not realize why this is, if you're targeting a business person who wants to start an online business, and they're on the internet and they're on YouTube, and it just so happens that they hand their iPad or their tablet over to their kids at the restaurant, and they're watching videos while the parents are eating dinner, they're going to see your ads. And you don't want to have that happen. So they're going to see Peppa Pig, and they're going to see whatever cartoon characters or whatever the case may be, and your video is going to show up, and guess what? It's costing you money. So we want to make sure that you minimize that. So make sure that you exclude and your videos don't get shown on the exclusion list. So that can be found in the Flock chat under the pinned posts. The other thing to keep in mind if you're advertising on Facebook, on YouTube, is Facebook is where we have the #1 selling feature for the Dream Team. And that is, we put our buyers into the Dream Team Facebook page, and they see but sort of milestone posts, and they see all sorts of fantastic things and announcements and things like that. But if somebody's on YouTube, they could very well be anti-Facebook and not have a Facebook presence whatsoever. So you've got to make sure that you can find them. So you just have to be a bit more of an undercover sleuth looking for these people. Whether you go on LinkedIn or Google or Instagram, you got to find them, because you got to get them into that Facebook group. So it just creates a little bit more of a not a challenge, but just you might have to spend a little bit more time on it, because there are some people that are not in that Facebook realm. Okay. So I'm going to talk about optimizing on YouTube, but before I do, just when you're optimizing on Facebook, right, there's all sorts of numbers and metrics that you work with. And what I suggest to my team is you want to optimize your Facebook ads when you have at least 3,000 impressions or you've spent $100. So if you're budgeting $10 a day, you don't want to be tinkering and messing around with your ads until you've got 10 days of data or 3,000 impressions. If you have less than that, you don't have a nice data cube to analyze your stats, to see whether or not your ad is performing. So you want to have some kind of picture. And so then when you start digging into it, you're looking for a target of a CTR, which is a click-through rate of 2%. And when you're looking at your stats, there's two CTR columns. There's a CTR and a CTR all. You do not want to look at the CTR all. It's the CTR column that you want to have 2%. The cost per click that you want to have is 50 cents or lower. Not CPC all, but CPC. So I share this with you because you want to have some kind of roadmap when you're doing advertising. So that's what Facebook says. It's like, I'm looking for my CTR, it's got to be 2%. I go to my CPC, it's got to be 50 cents or less. Otherwise, it's going to be too costly for me to advertise. If you find you're running your ads, you've got your 3,000 impressions, or you've spent $100, and you find that your CTR is not where you want it to be, so I'm doing worse than 2%, then you want to increase or improve your ad copy, your image, or your headline, right? If you want to increase or improve your CTR, ad copy, image, or headline. If you want to make a better CPC, you've got to change your audience. And I find 90% of the time, people's CPC is more expensive. And so they're always having to tinker with the audience. Now, when you do that, it'll also change your CTR. But that's kind of the best roadmap I can give team members with regards to Facebook. When we get over to YouTube, it's a completely different game, right? So if you're doing Facebook ads, you want to just take a screenshot of this and you're in good shape. But when you get over to the realm of YouTube, it's no longer about $100 or 3,000 impressions. It's giving the algorithm 7 to 10 days to gather data and figure out who it is you want to target. Right? So you're looking at 7 to 10 days. There are people in the flock chat that say, okay, I've been running my ad for 3 days. I've had no leads. Can I cancel my ad? You can, but you've just spent 3 days of money and you're throwing it out the window. But Google needs time. They've got billions of data points that they're trying to find your people for. So you've got to give them time to do that. So minimum 7 days is what we talk about in the training. The goal that you're looking for when you're doing your YouTube ads is a CTR of 1% and a view rate of 20%. So very different than Facebook. I'm looking for a CTR and a view rate. But people look at their ads and they go, oh, I have a CTR of 0.86% and a view rate of 13.2%. Oh, my ad's not working, and they throw it away and they start all over again. I'm here to tell you that the best thing you can do is not look at your top level, campaign level. You want to dig deeper into your data, whether it's keywords, demographics, placements, or locations, because it's conceivable that you're running an ad that has a very, not a 1% or 20%, but it's on 50 keywords. And some of those keywords don't have a good CTR, but the ones that you want to perform on might be 1.7% or 2%. So the average is coming in at 0.77. So people take their ad, throw it in the garbage, and start all over again. When in actual fact, within your ad, there are some keywords that are performing well and some that are not performing well. So don't go with the average, go down into the data and take a look at it. It is possible that you've got an ad that has a poor CTR and a poor view rate, but when you go into the demographics, you find out that women like your ad more than men. The women have a better CTR and a better view rate than the men do. So pause the men, don't show it to the men, show it to the women. And if you've got 2% for women and 0.5% for men, you're going to come in on an average that's not that great. But if you drop the men out of the ad, you're going to pop up above the 1%. The same holds true with the view rate. You can do it for locations. You can do it for placements. All of those things, dig deep into your data and you'll find that there are nuggets in there that you can work with. There's embers in your ad that you can work with. And if you do that every single week, like you run it for 7 days, check for your CTR, check for your view rate. And then after 7 days, pause the ones that aren't working, keep the ones that are, and run it for another 7 days. Because what you're doing is you're taking a stick and you're whittling away little pieces of wood every single time, and you're leaving it with the perfect things in your algorithm that work. It's only the inevitable to get it above 1% because you've taken all the crap percentages out. Does that make sense? Okay, so it's important to look at your ad on a whole, but certainly dig deeper into the keywords. So we'll have some examples of this when we start working with, I asked Lanny for some examples and I asked Leo for some examples. So I'll give you some live examples of how I would optimize an ad. So the nut of it comes down to no conversions doesn't mean that you have a bad ad, right? No conversions does not mean you have bad ad. If you're spending $10 a day, you go for 10 days, you've spent $100, whether it's Australian, US, Canadian, doesn't matter. You've spent $100 and you got no conversions. Many people would say, I didn't get 100 or I didn't get any conversions for my $100. It's garbage. I'm throwing it out. When in actual fact, you just invested $100 in your business. You just gave Google $100. Get the data, do something with it, work with it, as opposed to just throwing it out and starting all over. I promise you, if you throw the $100 away every single 10 days, your ads are just going to get more and more and more expensive, and you're going to get very discouraged very quickly. Right? And you don't want to be discouraged. The system works, right? We all know the system works. We see the posts, but we ourselves might not be getting the conversions we want. We have to have a system to look at our ads. So I gave you the system for Facebook. Whether you want to use it or not, it's entirely up to you. But here's the system that I work with from a YouTube perspective, and it seems to work. And it's not just for myself. The Obizos talked about it on the mastermind on June 16th. So take a look at that mastermind on June 16th. There were a few others that were presenting that night. Some really great nuggets. If you're a YouTube advertiser, June 16th mastermind is a good one to take a look at. So once you've got your ad running, you've got it going for 7 days and you optimize it. After optimizing, you may want to add. So you may want to add some more keywords. You may want to Google it. Right? You may find that you're doing great business to start from home in 2021. When you Google it, it automatically starts to complete the sentences for you in a Google search or in a YouTube search, and you start getting other keywords. When you first sat down and did your ad, you didn't have all the keywords in your head. You might have the 50 or the 100 or whatever the case maybe they call for, but you have a tough time coming up with all those keywords. But once your ad has been running and you see where Google has placed your YouTube ads, what keywords it's been doing, you're going to get some other ideas. Put them in again. Take a look and see what other keywords come up. And you'll be amazed at how many new ones come up. So you might put I don't even have it in front of me from the training. Let's say it's 30 keywords or 50 keywords that you want to have, or 100 keywords, and you start optimizing. And that, let's say you started at 100, you optimize, now you're down to 30. Well, you want to put some more in there. You don't want to stay at 30 necessarily. Well, get some more keywords, put them in. But I kind of sit down, and in my calendar, every Friday is the day that I do optimizing. I do not touch my ads on Tuesdays. I do not touch them on Mondays. I only touch them on Fridays. Pick a day, any day. But then the rest of the week, I get the duct tape out and I tape my hands to the chair, because I'm very, very easy to want to make edits to my ads, but I can't. I've got to let it work another 7 days. Right? How many of you are anxious to want to get your leads, and it's like you want to tinker with your ads all the time? Get the duct tape out. It's not going to help you. Right? It's just, it's common nature for us to want to do that, but it's hard, right? But, you know, get more placements, use TubeSift, use TubeTarget, or go manual if you're not going to spend the money. I use TubeSift. I turn it on for 30 days and I turn it off again. I get all the stuff that I need for the next 3 or 4 months, and then I turn it off, because I'm not going to spend, I'd rather put my money into my ads than put the money into TubeSift. But TubeSift is a fantastic platform to get placements and can save you a lot of time. Okay. So some tips, obviously be patient for the 7 days. Get out of your head. Let the data make the decision. So many times I look at it going, oh, it's got to be a good keyword. It's got to work really well. When in actual fact, the data says my keyword stinks. and I shouldn't use that keyword. So get out of your head, let the data make your decisions. Look at all the data, not just the overview. I talked about that. And then pause, keep, or add keywords, but then wait another 7 days. And always, our job is to test. Just test, 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 test. The system's been built for us. The funnel has been built for us. Everything's been built for us. Our job is to relentlessly test. That's it. Test your keywords, test your placements, test the cities, test whether you do $10, whether you do a country, a province, a state, a city. Just test, 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 and document all of your testing. Right? If you find that you're not getting it, there's many times people say, oh, I'm not getting any leads. And if we find out that they've been advertising to a whole country, but they're only spending $10 or $5 a day. Now, other people will spend $5 or $10 and it will spend it quite nicely in a country, but the country may not be the United States. It might be Liechtenstein, or it might be Germany, and each country is going to have different population requirements. And so it's not always just, oh, spend this much on a country and this much on a city. It really depends on your algorithm. Okay, just got something in my throat. Hold on a sec. I get all excited at YouTube that I start choking on stuff. I'm good. All right. Any questions on this before I jump into Lanny's or into Leo's dashboard? Any questions people have? Feel free to ask. Going once, going twice. Oh, we got a hand.
Do you find that you need like 100 or more of like the keywords? Are you a keyword guy, I guess?
So I've done interests, I've done keywords, I've done placements. Different ads perform differently with different things. You'll have some people say, oh, placements don't work for me. I don't use placements. Oh, keywords don't work for me. So everybody's going to be different. If I said to you, do keywords, your ad, your video may not work well with keywords because of the keywords that you selected, the video that you have, the demographic that you have. So you're going to have to test it. I suggest create the video, run it with placements. Create the video, run it with keywords. Create the video, run it with channels. Whatever the case may be, and test, test, test. Your algorithm will determine it. So some people would say, use keywords that are tied to your landing page. Now, if you've got the kitchen lander, it's different than the internet marketing lander. Well, the internet marketing lander might work better with placements, and the kitchen one might work better with keywords. I don't know, right? It might work better for women with keywords and placements for men. I don't know. So you got to test it. Unfortunately, I wish it was a black and white. It isn't. I will say that, and I've said this to Lanny when we had a call, when I first was doing this, I'm like, I got to target myself. It's attraction marketing. Okay, I got to do males between this age and this age. And I've been really getting in my head, trying to figure out what my target was. And it turned out I just did a few keywords, like based on the training, the number of keywords. And then I put interests in, like, I don't know, I think drapery and linens. And all of a sudden I'm getting leads. Now, what does linens and drapery have to do with me? Nothing. But I was so fixated on this for 12 months trying to figure out what my target is that I was just not looking at what YouTube offers. There are so many permutations and combinations that none of us will trip over each other's shorts. Unless I gave you my whole list of keywords and I gave you my whole list of placements, we still wouldn't trip over each other's shorts because all of us have different locations that we're targeting. And that's what's so cool about this business model is we shouldn't really be tripping over each other because there's just so many different opportunities. Now, your video may be all men. Your video might be just yourself and your male or your female. And so target it appropriately. If you're a guy, you might be doing a video with barbecuing and fishing and camping. But if you're going to be doing some of this female, you might want to do something that's more different relations, right? Relatable. So those are all different things that you're going to need to test. Hopefully that's a long-winded answer to a very short question.
I guess also like when you said if you have your bunch of keywords and you whittle them down and then you're adding, because you said you want to add, so maybe you have your cream on the top and then you add that new section so you can see how that new section gets added to it. So you're staying kind of above board. You're saying don't let it get too minimal.
Well, at some point, there's a tipping point. So if I said to you, my winning ad right now that's producing leads every single day is really on 5 keywords. It's not on 100.
Okay.
It's not on 50. Now I've got maybe 25 or 30 in there hoping that they'll spend some money on it, but Google is spending my money on 3 dominant keywords. The rest is just gravy.
Okay.
And so that does not mean you should start with 3 keywords. I started with the 100. Cut. 1%, 20%, 20%, 1%. Women, men, female, city, country, all this stuff. And I got it down to this little cube that's performing every single day for the video that I have. And maybe that'll only go for another 30 days. And then I got to start all over again. But I had to start somewhere and whittle down to get to that point. But don't start with 3 keywords just because Matt said he's got an ad working with 3. That's not the way it works. Start big and small. And at some point you may find, I'm not going anywhere with this. You throw it all up in the air and you start all over again. Right? Because there's going to come a point of diminishing returns. It's just not working. But always look at different things. If it's not the keywords this week, I'll look at my demographics. If it's not my demographics, I'm going to look at my locations. If it's not my locations, I'll look at my countries, whatever the case may be. But you're always looking for something to test. You may want to test 2 videos next to each other. Video A, video B. I'll put the same things through, but I'm going to do video A, video B. I'll see that, if I run a $10 ad, YouTube and with 2 videos, one's going to start being shown 75, 80, 90% of the time, the other only a 5 or 10%. Well, guess what? I know which one's my better of the 2 videos according to YouTube. I'm not saying it's a good one. My data says it's a good one. YouTube is presenting it to more people. So I pause this one, and now I know that out of these 2 videos, this one is better. And that's the one I'll keep going with. Right? So test, relentless test. Hopefully that answered your question. Was there somebody else? Was it Elena that had a question?
There's a question on the chat
Okay.
roll, Matt. Cindy is asking if she has a $10 budget and she how many countries do you test with a $10 budget? Is it one at a time or more?
Yeah, just test. Unfortunately, there's no magical answer there. Because I could say one country and then Cindy's going to jump in and do the United States, and that's just way too much for $10 or not. Or it could be based on the demographic. Cindy, you might be doing $10, but you're only doing women between the ages of 35 and 44, in which case $10 in the United States would be fine. It really comes down to not just the country, but the demographic that you're going after. Right? It could be that you use placements and all the placements that you have are Hindi. I'm just going to say Hindi. And I'm doing it in the US. Well, that's not going to work. $10 in the US with all Hindi channels may not drive the traffic you want. So again, it's got to be congruent. You've got to really study what it is that you're trying to achieve. I would suggest start with $10, start with a country. And if that's not producing results, look at your numbers and see whether you should go with cities in that country or you go to multiple countries, depending on how you're doing. We're going to do an example in a few minutes with Leo where the way he was targeting, he was using $5 or $10, and you'll see kind of how you can drill into the data to see where that goes. Okay, Cindy? Are there other, do you want to just check for other questions, Lanny?
Yep. So the chat roll, it's there.
Okay, see, I got it.
Rachel said, you can see
I can
them?
see it now. Yeah. Okay. So we were down at Cindy. Okay. Keywords placements. Yeah, I answered that one. With YouTube ads, can you have one campaign with 3 videos using one with keywords, one with placements, and one with interests? Good question. You can. So Trevor and Rochelle are asking, can I have one campaign with 3 videos? So the videos are going to be at the bottom level, at the ad level. And I've got 3 different ad groups. I have one that's keywords, one with placements, one with interests. So is it Trevor or Rochelle who's on the call, or both of you?
Miss Rochelle?
It's Rochelle.
Okay, Rochelle, what's your budget? A daily budget. What are you throwing in there? $5, 20 bucks?
I'm thinking of doing
$4?
probably about 15 to 20.
Okay, so if you're going to do $15 at the top level, and you're going to do 3 different ad groups and 3 videos, you're not able to tell YouTube how to spend your money. So they may put 10 of the $15 on the keywords, $1 on placements, and $4 or whatever's left over on interests. It's like, well, that's not going to test really well. You're better off to create $5, $5, $5. Now we're really diminishing it, right? Like, because $5 isn't going to get me that far, but at least I'm pushing it and making sure that I'm giving 3 equal placements to my ad.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, totally.
Then in each of those, run the 3 videos. That'll just tell you which one's a better video for that category. You may find that this video of the 2 of you is going to work better in placements. This one's not going to work as well, but at least you've split it up 5, 5, and 5.
Okay. So
Right.
you're saying each one with their own campaign, ad group, and ad in one section, and then see which of that video does which better in which area.
No, one campaign
Okay.
with placements and 3 videos.
Okay.
One campaign with interests and 3 videos.
Okay.
One campaign with keywords is the one that was left over, and 3 videos,
Okay.
but $5 on each. Not one video on each, because really one video on one will be treated differently unless you do the same video in all 3.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, the same
Okay.
video for each, and then so just have one and one and one in that specific area to see which one performs the best in that area.
Got it. Yeah, that's good.
Thank you.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so that gets us
story
there.
today is called
Test
The
relentlessly.
Wind Blew.
Is it better to have an ad cost that is not an even number? Okay, this is interesting because I'm starting to play around with this. I haven't got an answer on that one right now, Julie, but test it, right? People have tried that. If they get, the lucky number 18 or 1777, test it. I've started playing with that, but I can't say that it's been 100% successful yet, but I've heard it on Mastermind, so I'm trying it out.
I've heard it more for Facebook, really.
Yeah. Different people have different experiences, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Other questions? Or we're going to jump in. Who wants to go first, Lanny or Leo? Double L.
I'll go.
Okay, Lanny's going to go first. Okay, so if you can share your screen, Lanny. So just to set this up, my conversation with Lanny, with Leo, earlier this week when kind of discussion was, well, we'll try and do this. I thought it would be good for you to see how I optimize or where I would start looking at some of these ads. And we're not going to go into the secrets that they have for their ads. I don't want to disclose their secrets per se, but I do want at a very high level to be able to go in and just share with you sort of some things that we would look at with regards to an ad, if it's performing or not performing. I'm going to stop my share. You should. Okay, awesome. Okay. So at a very high level, we've got this. Now, over to the right-hand side, Lanny has recommendations of 88.5%. I'm going to start there. Okay. Everybody see the 88.5%? Okay. In the training, we talk about Google's going to be really good at wanting to spend your money. They're going to make recommendations. Hey, it would be great if you doubled your budget to $100. We're going to show your ad to 10 billion more people. As nice as that is, it's not generally going to work that well. So we suggest read the recommendations, but do not apply them. So you see right now, Lanny's at 88.5%. So they said, expand your reach with Google Video, reach additional customers on partner sites. Let's go ahead and view that one, Lanny. Click on the view button. Okay, so I can find out a little bit more about it. It's going to increase at 5.5%, it said. And, I'm just going to say, thank you very much, Google, for telling me this. So they like to know that I read it. It's about keywords and targeting. And I'm going to dismiss all of that. Okay, I don't want to do that. Okay, and the reason in this case is
No,
pick
answer.
one. No, we're going to say something here. We're going to say that I don't want to spend more. Just give them a reason
And then
and
dismiss all.
dismiss all. Sometimes it's just not relevant for my business or whatever. See, she just went up to 94%. So the other recommendation, I get conversions at a lower CPA by reaching users that are on other Google properties. So we'll read that recommendation on the left-hand side. This is not a great recommendation because they're going to show it on all sorts of different channels and things. We're going to dismiss all of those too. And the reason, custom audience, don't want to spend more. Okay, great. All right, dismiss all. She's now at 100%. In Google's eyes, they're happy that she at least is listening to them, not doing what they want her to do, but she's listening. So she's at 100% for the next week. Her ads may or may not, but generally I have seen they perform better when I'm sitting at 100% than not. 99.9999% of the time, I do not accept their recommendations. I gotta be careful. I got Google Home in my house, so I don't want them to find. No, I'm just kidding. You want to be so careful, but you want to be at 100%. So that's one thing that I just want to make sure that you guys are aware of. If you're lower than 100, your ads may not perform as well. Not that you have to accept it, just you're lower than 100. Okay. All right, Lanny, let's go over to, we were going to go through your campaign. There was a certain campaign that you had that had the data. So let's go into the campaign level. Cool. And which one did you want to review with me?
This one.
It was that one. Okay, so we're going to open that one up. Now remember, we want to look at her view rate and we want to look at her CTR. So her view rate on this one is 14.85%. That's no good, right? So at a top level, this is good. Well, that's all right before we throw it in the garbage. So let's scroll across to the CTR. And if you don't have it, we'll have to open up the columns for the CTR. Yeah, so go into the columns.
Yeah.
And we're going to make sure that we see the CTR. It's not letting you do that. Let's go into modify columns. Yeah, and I think it's under conversions or performance. There it is. Yep, CTR. Great, and we'll apply that. All right, so now I can see that at a high level, 14.85% and a CTR of 0.75. So this is a prime example of where people say, my ad's not working. Now she's getting 30 conversions in the span of October to August. So there are some conversions. Cost per conversion, $5.96, not bad, but she's got a cruddy view rate based on us saying 20% is good, and a 0.75 CTR, which again is not what we want it to be. So now Lanny could take a look at other things. She could look at the channels she's doing this in. She can look at the demographics, the countries, all that stuff. Which one did we talk about, Lanny, we were going to show here?
The demographics.
Right. So we're going to click on demographics. And we're going to take a look at, we can look at gender, we can look at age. Right. When we look at the age of the people that we're looking at her ads, we can see the okay, so let's look for the view rate. You see how some of them are 16.65 view rate, some are 13.31 in the CTR. So if she was to pause something, I would submit to her that by pausing 25 to 34, which has a view rate of 14.18 and a spend of $85. Okay, is everybody following along with those numbers? Right, she spent $85 and a view rate of 14.18% on the 25 to 34s, but it's only given her 15 conversions. So 50% of her conversions. So she's going to have to make a decision. Do I pause this or do I keep it? The 35 to 44 age range, she got 7 conversions there. She still has a poor view rate. but she's looking at CTR of 0.74, not bad. Cost per conversion of 757. But these 45 to 54-year-olds, her cost per conversion is 461. She got 8 conversions. She's at 0.94 CTR, which is better than, right? Better than the other ones, but not at 1% yet. But see, her view rate is good too. So if she was to pause 25 to 34 and pause 35 to 44, then the money that Google spent, the $85 for 25 to 34 and the $52 that was spent for 35 to 44 would be pushed down into 45 to 64. And it is conceivable that it's going to raise her percentages up. Do you see that?
Yep.
So whatever you want to do, Lanny, I'm not going to tell you what you want to do here, but that's the way I would analyze this. I'd be looking at saying, well, that sucks, but if I get rid of the poor performers, the better ones will get better. I sometimes look at the unknowns, like she's got no conversions coming from the unknown age. Spent, a few pennies here or there. She might want to turn that off because it didn't do anything for her. Again, she's just whittling away the poor performers and keeping the good performers. But look at this from a holistic perspective. Would you rather have 15 leads at 571 or 8 leads at 461, spend more money, and maybe she could have gotten 16 leads at 461? Maybe, I don't know, but it's worth trying. Right? Let's take a look at the gender. And again, to do that, she would just pause them. I'm not going to get into the training of that. Now let's take a look at the male, female, and unknowns. She's got a 484 cost per conversion. So she's getting 50% of her conversion. She's got 30 conversions. 16 of them are female, 14 are male. Okay, 50-50 split. We'd all agree with that, right? But one of them is at 484. The other one's at 701 a conversion. One has a view rate of 15.68, still not the sexy 20% we're looking for, but it's better than the 14.25. The CTR is 0.81 for the females, 0.71. We spent $98 on the men. We spent $77 on the women. So I just submitted to you, and this is where you have to sort of make these decisions for yourself. Is it conceivable that if Lanny spent the $98 on the males, turn that off and put it into the women that's performing better, that she would get more leads than 16 at 484? And how many of us want $4.84 leads? All of us, right? My hand will be double up, right? That's a good price per lead. I mean, $1 better, $2 is better. But I'd also submit to you, if Lanny was to continually keep chipping away at this, her 484 is going to come down to 3 and 275, et cetera. If over time, not doing this all in one day, but over time, she just whittles away at it. Fair enough?
Yes.
Okay. And that's how I approach my optimizing.
Yeah.
Look at your business on a whole. Right? You can do the same thing for cities. You can do the same thing for parental stats. You can do the same thing for household income. You can do the same thing for keywords. Only tweak a certain number of things at a time. Otherwise, you don't know what change made a variation. Right? If I did parental, age, gender, keywords, city, all this other stuff, and then something didn't work right, I don't know what my change was that happened that did or did not do well. Maybe it was the age, maybe it wasn't. Okay. All right, Lanny, thank you so much for being a volunteer for us on the guinea pig du jour. All right. I'm going to call on Leo now to do the same thing. If Leo could share his screen. Is this helping you guys? Is this okay?
Yeah.
Good. All right, Leo, share screen. Taryn's got a question while we're waiting for this. Can you turn things back on? Let me read the bottom. Can you turn things back on at any point to test it upon having it off, for instance, mail? Absolutely, Taryn. You can, there's two things you can do. One, in the bottom left-hand corner, you can go into your change history and undo the changes from the last little while. Or you can just put them, that's why I suggest don't remove them from the campaign, just pause them. Okay, cool. All right, here we go. We've got a campaign here for Leo. Leo, just give us a little bit of background on this campaign that we're going to take a look at. What's the budget per day? Oh, you're still muted.
Got it.
Okay.
$5. When I
$5.
click
Okay. And are you
Yeah.
doing countries or what are you doing?
countries,
Countries worldwide or only certain countries?
pretty well worldwide, yeah.
Okay. So Leo's spending $5 a day and he's targeting 10 billion people in the world. Okay. How's that going for you, Leo?
It's sort of like,
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I love when that's the case. I'm not happy about that, but I'm happy to hear that because we'll fix that up for you, right? So first thing we're going to do is look at your recommendations on the right-hand side. We got some recommendations there. Let's get you back up to 100%. So we're going to view the recommendations down. There's a view button. Yeah. And we'll just make sure that we don't accept any of them. We can view them and we're just going to view the recommendation. Add site links. Okay, there's a lot of discussion in the Dream Team about site links. If you want to follow up on it, go to the 16th of June webinar, but we're going to dismiss all of them at this point, Leo. So dismiss all. And just say, I prefer not to do group level extensions at this point. That's the middle one there. Up a little bit there. Perfect. Yep. And we'll dismiss all. Okay, he's at 84.2, already getting in the right direction. Reach additional customers and partner sites, just like they just said that to Lanny. And we're going to view the recommendation and we're going to dismiss it. Dismiss all. And we'll give them a reason. Pick one. Yep. Perfect. Dismiss all. We're at 94. We got one more to go. CPA by using Google Properties. Yeah, same thing. And we'll dismiss all. Pick a reason. Perfect. All right. So Leo is already in better shape now at 100%. Okay. So I highly suggest that once a week you just go in and just check those. It looks like you're listening to Google. You may not be listening to Mama and Papa Google, but you're at least listening to them, but you're not acting on what they're telling you to do. Okay, cool. Now, because Leo set up his campaign, let's go into your all campaigns at the top, Leo. Okay, so this campaign, Leo Video Conversions, is here. Now, because he set it up worldwide, if I said to him to show me what countries his ad is running, he would not be able to do that because he didn't put the individual countries in. He just said, worldwide, give it to me, right? So because of that, what I'm going to share with you is how to go in and run a report by country. Okay, now this is a little bit more technical, but I want you just to have your eyes open with regards to the power of YouTube and Google Ads, all right? So we're going to go into the reports up at the top. Leo, up about 4 inches up, report, straight up, higher, about 4 inches up. Yeah, left, keep going left and up. There's a button right, a little bit higher, couple rows higher, reports to the right. There we go.
Oh,
Excellent.
yeah,
Thank you. All right, we're going to go into reports. Perfect. So this is just a reporting database. Okay, this reporting database, we're going to go custom on the left-hand side. Now they've got pre-canned ones, but for what we want to do, we're going to do a table chart. Up table. Yep. Thank you. And now we're just going to add some things in. So I'm interested in, we'll cancel that. Over to the right-hand side. Okay, on the right-hand side, we're going to start looking for some of the things. The location, see this location halfway down, we're going to add that to the report. Let's do the country for now. We could do cities if we want, but we'll just do country, territory, geography. Yeah, click. Okay, that column has now gone on to his report. He's got all the countries listed there. Now we'd like to see the CTR, so we got to go find that somewhere on your table on the far right-hand side. So let's take a look at, I don't know whether it's a conversion tab. We might have to burst some open, but we'll find it. Click on conversions for me. Okay. We could take a look at how many conversions you had. Let's click on the word convert, the one right below conversions. Yep. So now he's going to have a report that tells him how many conversions he's had by country. Okay. Would you like to see the cost per conversion as well? Let's put cost per conversion. That'd be good to have. I still want that CTR and I want to see my, so keep scrolling down. Keep going down, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, all the way down, keep going. There's gonna be more down there somewhere. There we go. We're looking for CTR and we're looking for view rate. Keep going. Oh, keep going. We got locations. Keep going. Okay, it was there the
That's
other
it.
day. That's it. Okay, it's got to be somewhere there. So bear with me here.
I think it was on performance, Matt.
Performance at the top. Keep going all the way to the top. Performance, yeah, second tab. Thank you. CTR is about, yep, perfect. And view rates. Go down, find view rates. Perfect. And there's one more thing I'd like to have is where I spent the most money. So cost, not average cost, but cost. So let's scroll up looking for the word cost. There, cost, perfect. Okay. Okay, so you can now look at a report of all the countries. On the left-hand side, he's got this really nice table set up. So you can sort it, Leo, by the one that gave you the most conversions. So click on the conversions on the left-hand side, left, a column called conversions. Nope, to the left, about 3 columns, left, nope, left, the other left. There you go. Up by conversions, up, yeah, no, yeah, click there. We're gonna see from just high to low. So now I'm going to see what countries had the most conversions and the cost per conversion. Right. So while he's had this whole world that he's doing this on, he's getting 43 conversions out of India, 37 out of Nigeria, 17 from Bangladesh. So you see, and Australia, he's had 4 conversions, but it's cost him $99. Now, this is a report, so he can't pause from this. He'd have to go back into his ad and pause Australia if that's what he wants to do. Now, of these leads, Leo, have you received any buyers from India?
No.
No. Okay. So if you want, you may want to turn off India. You're getting a lot of leads there. They're a cheap lead, but they don't have a really good view rate, right? They're at 10%. We just finished saying we want 20%. So you can sort your view rates, you can sort your CTR, you can sort by cost per conversion. This is just all on the fly based on running an ad that was worldwide. I wouldn't suggest spending $5 worldwide. I think Leo already knows he wasn't doing really well with that. It was cheap, but cheap sometimes means it can be costly in the long run because he's had this running and he didn't know where to turn it off. He knows he's getting leads, but these leads aren't converting to buyers. But data gives you the answers of what you want to do. So based on this, Leo can now take a look through and say, yeah, you know what? South Africa was doing okay or wasn't. I got a better CTR out of Tanzania or Philippines or whatever. Again, you can sort through this yourself. But by not spending the $396 on Australia, that $396 would go into the other countries. Right? Or turn off India and spend that money in Australia. You got to decide where your buyers are and where your leads are coming from. But it gives you a much better understanding, intelligence-wise, where your money is being spent. Right? So if you can't get at the data in, I guess the reason I want to show this to you is if you can't get in the data in your dashboard, go to the reporting module because it's all there. Right? So we're not going to pause anything right now, Leo. I'll let you take this away and sort of figure out what you want to pause, but you would just do the same thing. Go into your ad, go into the countries and exclude India, if that's what you want to do, or exclude Australia, whatever it is, just exclude those from your data model and it will take them out of the ads. Run it for 7 days, run the same report, see what you're getting. Right? And then after 7 days, and over time, what you're doing is whittling it down to get those countries that are winners for you. It doesn't mean that your ad's no good. It just means that you were targeting too broad, right?
Yeah, got it.
What else have we got here? I'd say those countries aren't the greatest for those leads that are coming from. Yeah, to zone things to quality targeting. Absolutely. That's very true, Taryn. So I guess, sort of coming back to, the data that's on the screen, you can really see, Leo, you've got some great performing conversions, but if they're not going to buy anything from you, Now, that's not saying that India is a bad place to advertise. There are people making a lot of money in India, don't get me wrong. But it might be that you have to be more specific if you're going to go into India, that you have to have business people or people that are looking for internet marketing, or your targeting will need to be different. So again, I'm not saying any of these countries are bad. It's just you might have to change your targeting for those countries. You can't go 5 box broad all around the world and hope that something's going to stick. That's going to be difficult for you. But if you want to do India, you got to be a little bit more specific on it. If you want to do a sort by view rate, just see the view rate column there. Oh, yeah, perfect. High to low. Look at that. So there's Yemen. Now, I'm not sure but look at how cheap the cost was there, 18 cents. He's got a 40% view rate. I don't know, right? I don't know enough about Yemen. Now I got to talk to my coach or my mentor and say, do we even do anything in Yemen? Because if we don't, I'm not going to waste my time there, right? Now you're in Australia, time zone to Yemen, because you're going to have to support that person. You got to figure out whether you want to be advertising in Yemen, right? British Virgin Islands had a high performing view rate, but no CTR. So let's not spend that money there and push that money to places that it actually performs for you. Curacao, you're at 0.54 on a view rate, right? So go through these and take a look. Libya, again, not necessarily the best of countries. Jordan, I'm not sure what that's going to be like, but US Virgin Islands had a pretty decent view rate and a pretty decent CTR. Cyprus is getting, again, I don't know enough about these countries to go there. I'd be sitting down with my coach and saying, let's plan a strategy around this, because this coach is going to have to do the coaching calls. And if we don't have a presence or a footprint there, it may not make sense to even spend money there, right? Italy, you got 1.2 and 18.29. That's interesting. You only spent 94 cents. If I was to push some money away from some of these other countries like India, maybe I could get Italy to perform above 20. I can start getting leads. Italy's not a bad place to advertise. Again, talk to your coach about that. Keep going down. Costa Rica. Okay, that's interesting, right? But you see how you get into some data that really starts telling you something? And that's what I wanted for you, Leo, when I spoke to you the other day. It's just get into the data. Just get into your business. That is your business. Data is your business, right? So that you're getting some return on this money, as opposed to saying, oh, well, this didn't work, and now I got to flush all this money down the toilet. I do have something here I can work with. Right? May not be giving you all the results you want, but it's starting you off somewhere.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Okay.
Much appreciated.
Oh, my pleasure. Anything else coming up in the questions? Katie, I've gotten buyers from India and Philippines, but no distributors yet. I do think it's better to get very specific on location, talk to your coaches, see where they're at, get financing, use our products, etc. Absolutely. Google is also taxing some countries differently now too, if you're advertising there. So you got to be cautious about that. You got to be aware of that. There's some emails that were sent out from Google with regards to that. All right. Other questions? I'm all ears. Otherwise,
I'm sure there's a lot of questions, or maybe Matt has explained himself very, very well, which I agree. Any
awesome,
guys? There's nothing in the.
Yeah, go ahead, Tara. You got a question? Unmute yourself. Come on.
Yes, thanks, Matt. Have you done channels? And if so, how many channels do you recommend? And do you have anything specific you keep in mind when you're choosing the channels? If, for example, high subscribers or a lot of views, etc.
Yep. So I use TubeSift to pick my channels because I want to make sure they're monetized channels. That's first and foremost. And then I dig into it. It really comes down to testing. And I think it's 10 channels that we put. I can't remember now. I've got so many things that I've done since I've done the training, but just stick to the training. If they say 10 channels and 50 placements, then just do 10 channels and 50 placements. Stick to the training. Stick to the training. Don't make it up. I just don't have the numbers in front of me right now. Shame on me, but stick to the numbers. But if you can, use TubeSift. So at least it saves you so much time. I mean, your time is money. right? The faster you can be advertising, the better for you. The faster you get advertising, you got to use something like TubeSift. You can get all the channels yourself, but you got to go into each one and see whether they're monetized channels. That takes a lot of time. But again, everyone's at a different place, but I would not turn on TubeSift for an infinite period of time. Save yourself that time and money. Okay, Tara, hopefully that helps. It doesn't give you the best answer, but you got to test it.
Thank you. So when you're choosing channels, do you choose channels with high subscribers, or because I feel like we are competing with other ads, you know, the more expensive advertisers?
No. So what's happening is there's going to be two levels to this. Lanny, can I put you on the spot again? Lanny, I'm going to get you to share your screen for a second.
Okay.
And I'm going to get you, can you go into your Google account? So go into Chrome and go into your Google account. Let's see if we can get you in there. Let me just, it'll be, yeah, just go into, hang on, I'm going to do it on my screen. Hold on.
You want me to stop sharing?
No, you can still keep sharing. I'm just I'll get you to show it. I just need to show everybody where it is that I want you to go. It's been so long since I've done this. Your Google account. Yeah, okay. In the top right-hand corner where your headshot is, it says Gmail images and the three buttons. Nope, down 1 inch. Nope, down about an inch.
Down about it, that one.
That one, yeah, click there. Okay, we're going to manage your Google account. So click on your manage Google account. And then I want you to go to manage your data and privacy, the privacy and personalization. Up, yeah, data, yeah. Okay, and now scroll down. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Yeah, keep going, keep going. That's all I got for you. Okay, go to personal info. Okay, scroll down. And what I want to get to, there's a section about advertising preferences. Hang on. And I suggest this once we find the right tab, that you do this for yourselves. Data personalization. Okay, go back to data and personalization again, sorry, or data and privacy.
Everybody knows my birthday. I want birthday gifts, okay?
Yeah, I was busy looking at other stuff. Okay, scroll down a little bit. Okay, ad settings, yeah, good. There should be something that says add personalization on, good. And then right below that should be, oh, no, go up.
You just passed it, go up, just there.
Right there, other relevant options. You just had it there. Go down. Yeah, where it says purchases, other relevant options, just click on purchases. Scroll down. No, that's not what we want. Okay, you know what? I'm going to share my screen, see if I can show it from this end. Hang on. It might be an Australia thing, just from a privacy perspective.
Or a Lani thing,
No, I think it might be because you guys had something different on your Zoom account too. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
So when I go into ad settings, it tells me all my interests. I'm into barbecuing and grills. I'm into books and literature. I'm into, did you see that? Yeah. All of you should check your Gmail accounts, because if I do advertising, and I'm Matt, I'm doing advertising, and I have landscape design here, and I'm targeting landscapers, that's a bonus for me. If I'm targeting basket weaving, and basket weaving is not one of my interests, it's really, really hard to get traction. So coming back to the question of what I should be targeting has to do with making sure, A, if you're running out of ideas for targeting, go into your Google account and see what you should be targeting for yourself. That's one. But two, if you're not getting good traction on YouTube ads, it's probably because it's not in unison, it's not tied together to your web page or to your interests. They like it when things are congruent. right? It tells you what age groups, whether you've got kids, not so much kids, but what interests you have. I'm interested in small business. I'm into sports, travel industry, right? So those are all my interests. Check your own with regards to that.
Matt, do those go in automatically based on your search history?
Uh-huh.
Oh, great. Okay, so we don't have to add them in.
Nope. No, and you'd be surprised some of
Scary
the ones
and
that come
helpful.
up, right? Like, you know, Katie's got a couple of kids. She's doing this and this, living on Vancouver Island. So because of that, she may have BC ferries coming up on hers, or water traffic travel or something. Whereas I, living on the mainland, have different interests. But you'd be surprised at what shows up with regards to that. Right?
Matt, do we have an option to get rid of some of the interest? No? It's
I don't
just there?
think so. You'll have to look into it. You might want to Google it. I'm sure there's some ways to do it. I'm sure there is, Tara. I don't know what the exact answer is on that. I just know that if I'm in unison and aligned to what my interests are, my ad cost goes down. Why? I guess it just means because YouTube's doing their job. They have so much data on us. They've got so much, right? So I think it was your question I was answering, Tara, with regards to this, is just from that perspective is something to consider. Okay, Google is taxing countries differently. Good enough. Katie, good stuff. Anything else coming up here with questions? Nope. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Hopefully that helps you guys a little bit, just at least a little bit.
No, for me, speaking for myself, I've learned so much things that I would never even go to if I'm on my Google Ads account. So I'm sure everybody is in the same page. So thank you so much, Matt. Can I ask you to stop sharing so we can see your beautiful faces?
Oh,
Thank you.
yes, absolutely. Hold on. I didn't realize I have that still on. There we go. Okay, there you go. All the beautiful backgrounds.
So if you've learned something, raise your hand. Okay. Are you ready to rock YouTube? Raise your hands. Very good. Do we want to hear Matt in Masterminds? Raise your hands.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
The one thing I will say is I do these periodically for people. This does not mean that you can slide into my DMs and into my Flock chat to start asking me questions directly. Please use the Flock channel. We've got so many volunteers in there trying to do this. So just this does not give you license to come into my messenger. But yeah, no, it's been in a slice doing this, and certainly I'm glad that you were able to learn something from it. Just keep whittling down your ads and it'll be awesome for all of you.
Absolutely. So thank you so much,
Thank
Matt.
you so much, Matt.
Thank you so much. That was amazing information. Wow.
It was mind blowing.
We did not know. Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right,
Yeah.
guys, I will talk to you later. Okay. Have a good day.
Thank you so much, Matt.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
Get out there, Matt.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Wow.
That was a great Zoom. That's
Can
for
you
sure.
imagine the stuff we looked for?
I
Oh,
have to be careful now, Cindy.
yeah. I
Searching,
know.
they'll all be on the record. Holy cow, I didn't even know
Yeah.
that. I thought
When-
you can delete your history.
I know.
Yes, no.
Well, at least I don't look at something bad.
I
I
would
don't
say
think anyway.
if you're wanting to search something on Google and you don't want that on your interest, use an incognito tab. It won't go on your history if it's an incognito tab, because when I was talking to Matt and I was sharing my screen, he asked me to go on a different tab so that there's no history to that. Yeah. So that's something.
Yeah.
So you
Well,
have to
I
go to what tab?
Incognito.
Different
Oh,
tab.
okay.
And I think that your history, your search history, your interests, like he was showing us, they're personalized, right? So no one's gonna see that.
Yeah.
So just utilize the good information in there for your company, right?
Crazy.
That was awesome. That was a very valuable Zoom. So
That was a good one, yeah.
you have downlines already. Make sure you guide them to this recording. I will share it with you, Lonnie, this evening, so you can get this
Yeah.
replay to your people right away. That was invaluable. Thank you, Leo and Lonnie, for sharing your screens and
Yeah, that was great.
providing us that value, because it was very, very beneficial. I appreciate it a lot. Amazing.
Matt wasn't sure if we wanted him to share the reports that he did in Leo's ad, and I said, no, my God, this is totally. I was like, no, you gotta do that. You think
Yeah.
it won't be too much for everybody? No, they will love it.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah.
because we all struggle, right? So
We're all, yeah,
we struggle together.
yeah.
That's the beauty. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So
Excellent.
perfect. Well, beautiful people. I will just say we should get on with our evenings or our days.
Don't forget the picture, Lonnie.
Oh yes, let's have a picture real quick.
Oh, look at her face for that one.
We forgot the picture with Matt, but anyway.
Oh, that's
It's okay.
Yeah,
Or
you
you can just
come into this one.
Mom, are you
grab
there?
from the replay.
Yes.
Finally gonna get on, Mom. Tara, the
Stop,
Tara down there, that's
Mary.
my mother.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Hey, Tara.
Yeah,
I'm gonna force her to start coming to all the Sundays.
I don't know how to do this. Like, how do I get my picture on?
Go to
Hold on.
the end corner.
Hold on, I helped you. I helped you.
Huh.
It should
She
ask you
she
for the
wants to
video.
be
now.
on, so that's a good thing.
Love, love, love.
That is- It says stop video, and
Okay,
you'll
gotcha.
see.
Yeah.
There we go. That's my mama. Everybody say hello.
Hello.
Okay. Are we
All
good
right.
for the first one? We've got the good one, the dreamy one. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. And now for the most interesting one, which is now hang on. I'm trying to do okay, bigger screen. Yay. Okay. Now ugly. Go wacky. I'd say wacky. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. I got one.
Oh,
Okay. Okay, thank you guys. Thanks,
All right,
Taryn.
everybody, have a
Nice to
beautiful
meet
evening.
you
We'll see you all on
Great
Sunday.
night,
Make
everybody.
sure you all come to
Thank
next
you,
Sunday. We
everyone.
have a
Thank you.
beautiful
Oh,
here.
Beautiful.
Next week, not Taryn yet. To next week's
That's right.
Lilibeth de la Cruz.
Yeah.
So otherwise
Mark your
known as
calendars.
one of the Tres Marias, Michelle Arceo's mentor. So, yeah.
Awesome. Exciting.
All right. Bye.
Hey guys, have a good one. See you next Sunday.
Bye, everybody.
Share the photo,
Bye.
Lonnie.
Thank you so much.